for Season 2, Episode 29, Jeremy. Love you.
All right. First question. Tell me your name and who or what you are.
Jeremy Claudio. I am... Is it who I am or who I want to be? Or who I perceive myself to be?
Who or what you are.
Who or what I am, whatever that means to me. I am a walking second chance. I am I'm a person who tries really fucking hard. Try really hard to do things the way that they should be done. Based on my convictions. For me, I'm the kind of person that just finds value in, like I find my own personal value in whether or not I did it right. Or by other people or by best practice or whatever. It feels like everything has like a right, like somewhat of a generalized right way to do it. Like there's a right way to love people, there's a right way to do a thing, there's a right way to serve people, there's a right way to be. So I feel like if there's anything that I am on a day-to-day, whether like good or not good, like who am I? Like if I have to get a description, it is that I try to do everything as best as I possibly can. Sometimes I'm not successful, but I try.
Tell me something you don't like about yourself.
Probably my relationship with that.
How so?
Because I feel like when you live with this like expectation on yourself to make sure that every decision that you make is like the best way or the right way, it can like foster this weird resentment in you as a human. Like you could start feeling like everything is unfair. And then obviously the right way is never to be a victim. So you end up being like, very, how do I describe it? You end up being like super pressured, you know? And like you feel like this constant stress, like there's a right way to do it and I have no option to do it the wrong way. And so I always have to be keeping up with that for myself, to find value in myself, you know? Like to feel like I'm a good human, like I'm worthy of love, like I'm worthy of commitment or camaraderie or partnership or even loyalty. I feel like I have to perform a certain way. I have to be a good investment, so to speak. When you live that way, then there's this weird resentment because then when you classically fuck it up, you don't do it right, or you hurt somebody even though you did everything you felt like you could not to hurt a person or whatever it is, then you get upset, like you have this resentment for humanity. You're like, yo, why don't you all just back the fuck up off me? But really no one is, it's you know? So if there's anything that I don't like about myself, it's that battle that I have with myself. That's like, yo, Jeremy, what the fuck are you doing? And everybody around me is like, bro, you're fine. Like you're doing the best that you can. But it's the thing that keeps me up at night being like, bitch, you could do better. You know?
Tell me something you like about yourself.
The fact that I would never hold another human being to that standard. The fact that, yo, I fucking love people, yo. I love people. They're so imperfect, they're so dangerous. And they, like, sometimes are very unpredictable, but I love people. I love people. They're very risky to invest in, but it's very rewarding when you do. You invest in another human being, and then you have the reward of watching them grow. It's nothing like that. I love people. And if there's anything that I like about myself, it is that somehow throughout my life, I figured out a way to be doing that often. Like that's become my job to myself. It's not just this passing thing that happens sometimes, or like an opportunity that I have to try to find. Like, for whatever reason, or in whatever way, you know, I know I'm not like this self-made man, you know what I mean? I'm not just gonna pat myself on the back and act like, you know, I did so much to mature myself into this awesome thing. You know, I feel like I kind of stumbled into this brokenness and then molded into the person that I am now. But somehow, in the midst of all of that, I ended up in a situation where I can say that, like, I get to love on people all the time. And, like, fuck, I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful because that shit is great. It's great. It's a good thing.
All right. You leave here tonight, and you die before you get home.
Of course, it wouldn't be a Sean question unless somebody died.
You die on the way home.
Okay.
After people have said their goodbyes and done the nice thing and told stories and all that stuff, what part of you do you hope lives on in the people that you knew?
Oh my God.
Choose one thing.
One thing that I wish, that I've
What
like.
part of you lives on? Your part of your soul.
What do they? Wow. What part lives on? That's interesting that I would even question that. I know exactly what it is, but you know when your mind questions itself, like, is that really how you feel about that? I had one of those moments just now, but no, I genuinely believe that if there's like a legacy or like a thing that I want to be left over after I'm gone, it is dangerous faith. To believe, like the part of me that believes that if God tells me to do something or tells me that something's going to happen, there's not a truer thing in the whole world. And I can hang my hat on that every time. It doesn't matter how crazy it is. He could tell me, yo, I want you to work on your character. I want you to become the kind of man that has the capacity to actually love on the people around you. Like, well, healthily. And then, like, but in the same breath, if he told me, it's like, yo, in response to that, like, I want you to focus on that, but this thing is going to happen to you. So jump when I tell you to jump. No question. Ever. He could tell me to sell everything and give it away to the next person in the corner. And I would do it. Here you go. Without one man trying to convince me that that's the way it should be. Without one other person's involvement. It wouldn't come from the mouth of another human being. I could just genuinely know in my soul, like in who I am as a human, that I felt him go, yo, do this. No questions. I would do it. If I could leave anything behind in my life, it is the ability, like, that shit is scary. That shit is scary sometimes. Trusting some shit that might not come through, and then you might just be fucked. You just might be ass out. Like, well, that shit is scary. That shit is scary, bro. So if I could leave anything behind, it would be the ability to have such an experiential trust in the fact that if God said it, then it's cool. And you know what's interesting? Most of the time, the only thing that God tells me to do is to love somebody. Is to forgive them. He's not out here doing like rocket science type shit. He's not sitting here telling me like, yo, Jeremy, you know, I want you to, you know, sell this and move to LA and, you know, write with this person or do this with this kind of person. Yo, it's all the time. People make shit so whack, yo. It becomes about institutionalizing everything and like making everything into this grandiose, complicated, like kind of doctrine. I'm like, yo, God has never asked me to do anything other than be like, yo, that person did you wrong? You gotta forgive him, bro. Yo, that person needs love. Yo, do you lose everything to love that person because I love them and they deserve it? Yo, that's the hardest things that God can ever ask you to do. I always find this so like, I can't believe people when they're like, God told me to do. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, really? God in his like infiniteness was like, yo, with all the problems on the planet, I'm gonna come down to Earth and I'm gonna talk to Sean. You know, I'm gonna say to Sean, hey Sean, you know what I'm gonna tell you to do, bro? Really important. Let's make you some more money. That don't sound what? Get out of here. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I mean, do what you please, but I don't believe you. You know what I mean? You knew this was gonna happen if you asked me questions.
That was good.
You know, I love you. You knew this was gonna happen if you asked me questions.
Mm-hmm.
And you hand me the motherfucking J? You should have known better. I'm gonna be honest.
Cut.